In this video, we are going to learn how to solve these physics repeated questions under equilibrium of forces. Let's get started. The first question I have here says, a single force which produces the same effect as a set of forces acting together at a point is known as we have resultant, we have component, resistant, and equilibrant. So the correct option in this question is option A, which is a resultant force. Alright. So the next repeated question will be this one. It says the resultant force in a couple is what? We have infinite, the sum of the forces. We have the product of the forces. We have 0. So the correct option this question is option D, which is 0. Alright, the next repeated question will be this question. It says a force is applied at the end Q to a bar PQ pivoted at P. This is a diagram. The torque produced by the force F about the pivot is greatest when theta is what? So the correct option this question will be option B, which is 90 degrees. Take note of this particular question. Next repeated question will be this question. It says two forces P and Q are acting perpendicular to each other. What is their resultant force? We have P. Force P equals 50 Newton, force Q equals 65 Newton. Alright, so this is why it is interesting. Now note that when it comes to resultant of forces, this is the formula you can apply to get the work solved. So resultant of force, you apply Pythagoras rule. So we have R square equals P square plus Q square. So this is R square equals 50 square plus 65 square. Alright, so the R square will be, so let's simplify 50 square on the calculator. So 50 square is the same thing as 50 times 50. So basically to give us 2500. Okay, so we have 2500 plus, so let's simplify 65 square, that's 65 times 65. This will give us 4225. Alright, so we have 4225. Now what we're going to do now will be to sum them, this plus 2500. So all the outputs. Okay, so at this juncture we are left with, okay, we have R square equals 6725. so you square root both sides, remove the square here. So R will be square root of 6725. So when you punch it on the calculator, let's remove this. So when you check the square root of this value on the calculator, you're going to have 82.01 Newton. So the correct option in this question is option C. Alright, that's it for this question. Let's wipe this now, solve the next repeated question. So guys, the next repeated question will be this question. It says, which of the following is an example of a couple? We have the forces that are applied to the steering wheel of a car when you turn it, the forces that apply to the handle of a screwdriver when you twist it, all of the above, the forces that are applied to a cross wrench to loosen or tighten the long nuts on a wheel of a car. The correct option is option C, all of the above. The next repeated question will be this one. So the question says, a bar of length 3 meters is subjected to two parallel but opposite forces of 60 Newton at its ends as shown in the diagram above. The couple on the bar is what? So guys, for this particular question, the basic formula for moment of a force is force times distance. So to solve this problem we have here, since we have a bar of length 3 meters subjected to two parallel but opposite forces of 60 Newton at its ends, So it's going to be, the force there will be 60 Newton. So we have sine 30 degrees. So when you punch this on the scientific calculator, there's no trig identity on this calculator we have here. So this is going to give you 30 Newton. So at this juncture, you will now do 30 times the distance there, which is 3. So 30 times 3 giving what, 90 Newton meter. That will be the answer to this question. Alright, so it's as simple as this. Okay, so let's wipe this now and solve. The correct option is option B. Let's wipe this now and solve the next repeated question. So the next repeated question will be this question. It says a resultant of two forces is 50 Newton. If the forces are perpendicular to each other and one of them makes an angle of 30 degrees with the horizontal, find its magnitude. Alright, now I've always said that when you are dealing with a horizontal axis of a force and an angle, you should solve the problem using cos. Alright, when it's involving vertical axis, the problem should be solved using sine. Okay, so basically to solve this problem, it's going to be, we have the force with 50 Newton, so the 50 cos 30 degrees. So when you punch this on the calculator, we're going to have 43.3. So the correct option is option D, 43.3 Newton. That will be the answer to this question. Alright, so let's wipe this now and solve the last repeated question. Okay, so the last repeated question will be this question. It says 100 Newton force is applied to a lever at a distance of 0.5 meter from the axis of rotation. The force is applied at an angle of 30 degrees to the axis of rotation. What is the torque produced by the force? Okay, so the torque produced by the force will be, this is the formula we apply: force times distance sine theta. So it will be, the force here is 100 times 0.5 sine 30 degrees. Okay, so if you punch this on the scientific calculator I have here, you are going to have an output of 25 Newton meter. Okay, so that would be the correct option. This question, option B. So this basically can deal with problem involving equilibrium of forces for physics. We practice with 8 repeated questions for this topic. Hope you learned something interesting from the video. Let's call the video, guys. If you are new to our channel, ensure that you subscribe to this channel for more of our videos. Also like, share, and comment on this video. Let me know if you feel for what I learned from this video. If you seem to have any specific questions to ask regarding what I've talked about in this video, feel free to leave your question at the comment section below, and I will ensure to give you a response. Also ensure that you're part of our channel membership by clicking the join button, where you'll be receiving special information that will help to simplify your academic work. So join us now, you'll be glad you did. Having done that, click on the screen above and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.